Good morning, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your Friday, and I hope you've had a good week. And I hope that you are being safe and staying healthy out there. Okay, so what I want to talk to you today is the problem of camera shake. Now, what is camera shake? Well, camera shake is when you don't hold your camera still enough to take a photograph. Okay, you notice the image on the left side of the screen shows blur from camera shake, and on the right side, it shows the image without camera shake. The camera shake is a little bit different than, say, a blurry photograph, because in a blurry photograph, you just don't have your focus set right. Those of you with automatic cameras, this isn't so much something you have to worry about, but with those of us that use manual cameras, and let me encourage you to, if you can, set your camera to manual. It just helps in the learning experience. Camera shake basically comes from not or from shooting at too slow of a shutter speed for the amount of light that you have. And remember, the darker the scene, such as say an indoor photograph, or maybe you're shooting one just after the sun sets or something like that, and you have to use a slower shutter speed to allow more light to come into camera. And the other problem is not holding your camera in a proper and supportive position. Okay, so what are the solutions to this? Well, the solutions are, the solutions are, one, to use a tripod or something called a GorillaPod. And you'll notice on the left side, or on the right side of the screen, for those of you who haven't seen one, a GorillaPod is made by a company called, I believe it's Joby or Joby, something like that. And it's a small tripod that can hold a small camera. And the nice thing about it is, if you'll notice in the photograph, that the legs of it can be bent around something like a pole, or in this case, a fence, or something like that. These are very nice because they are small enough that they're easy to carry. They don't take a lot of weight. And obviously the flexibility is pretty nice too. There are other companies that make similar brands, but I think GorillaPod is one I'm familiar with. I actually own one. I really like it. I use it with a GoPro camera, and so it's the one I'm familiar with. The other technique to eliminate or reduce camera shake is to learn posture and proper stance. Okay, so the proper stance aspect of this is spread your feet apart so they're comfortable. You might use your left leg to step back a little bit. The idea is that you're going to steady yourself. When you go to take the photograph, take a deep breath, and then exhale very slowly. And at the end of your breath, push gently on the shutter button. And that will help you stabilize yourself so that you can reduce this idea of camera shake. So there's a couple proper techniques for holding your camera. I'll show you an image here in a second. But the first thing you want to do is use your left hand under the camera to support its weight. Especially if you get into photography and you start using telephoto lenses and things like that, they get pretty heavy and they're hard to hold still. So you want to use your left hand to sort of support the weight and hold the camera up. The next step is to tuck your arms in tightly against your side so that your arms are braced against your side, and it just gives you more security. You want to use your right hand, obviously, to gently push the shutter button, and hopefully you've reduced the camera shake while taking a photograph. Now, this same technique applies to a portrait shot, except you extend your right arm so it is parallel to the ground and bend it at the elbow. So let me show you. Okay, so on the left side, you see the photographer. He's holding the camera. Notice how he has his left hand underneath the body of the camera, okay? So his left hand is supporting the weight of the camera. The right hand has a hold of the grip, and he's using his index finger, obviously, to push the shutter button. But also notice how his arms are tucked in at his side. That's really important because that gives you the stability of your weight to hold the camera still. On the right side of the page, you'll see this is an old photograph from the U.S. Signal Corps that I think is pretty cool. On the right side, you see the technique for holding a landscape, to take a landscape photograph or holding the camera horizontal. Now on the bottom side, and it's a little difficult to see, but you'll notice that the guy's still using his left hand to support the weight of the camera. But notice, if you can, that his right arm is extended out and then bent at the elbow, and he's holding the top of the camera while using his index finger again to push the shutter button. These are good techniques to practice. Sometimes it takes a lot of practice, but hopefully you'll catch on pretty quick. This will help you reduce camera shake. Okay, so you can also reduce camera shake by pushing or by propping the camera up on the top of a car or on a fence, or actually by leaning against a tree or wall. Remember, the idea is to move the camera as little as possible when you're actually taking the photograph. Okay, so for more information, check out a couple of websites that I really like. One is the Digital Photography School. You can see the address here. Pause the video if you want to write that down. The other one is Photography Life, and again, you see the address here. These are two sites where I obtained the images that I used today. Okay, so here's a weekly challenge. I want you guys, you all, to go out and photograph something blue. It could be a sign, it could be a flower, the sky, a car. Just be creative, and don't settle for one photograph. Take lots of photographs. Maybe you might go back and, if you take a look at the photographs you made and you don't like them, you can always go back and shoot them again. Submit it up to the Central Kansas District Facebook page where you're watching this video. So show us what you see. We want to see how you see life, and that's what's important. Please make sure the work is yours and not someone else's. And also, the last weekly challenge was pet photos, so feel free to submit them too if you haven't done so already. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to bring up, if you haven't noticed on the Facebook page, is today is an important deadline day. Today is the day you drop and add projects on 4-H Online. There's some other information here that you should be paying attention to. So just, be prepared and get ready. Okay, also remember the fair, believe it or not, is what, 2 months away or so, or the deadline to enter is 2 months away, something like that. It's approaching fast, so get out and start photographing. Remember, the flowers are beautiful this time of year. There's a lot of opportunities for photography, but as always, remember to be safe and stay healthy. Wear your mask if you're out in public. Just be safe. That's most important. All right. I hope you guys have a good day. I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you today. And let me know if there's anything else you need. I believe I emailed everybody with my contact information. I apologize for not including it here. So anyhow, y'all have a good day. Thank you.